Welcome to Rise, Reclaim, and Renew with Joni Elizabeth, the podcast for women who are ready to step into their strength, rewrite their story, and live a life that feels aligned, confident, and deeply true. Hi, I'm your host, Joni Elizabeth, therapist, coach, writer, speaker, and fierce advocate for women who are rising out of old patterns, reclaiming their worth, and renewing the way they show up in the world. Here we will explore the real life moments that shape us, the healing that transforms us, and the mind-body wellness tools that help us to grow forward with intention and courage. Every episode is created to empower you, to remind you of your resilience, your brilliance, and your ability to create a life that feels grounded, joyful, and authentically yours. So, settle in, take a deep breath, grab a cup of coffee or your favorite beverage, and get ready to rise, reclaim, and renew one meaningful conversation at a time. Welcome, beautiful souls, to another episode of Rise, Reclaim, and Renew. I'm so grateful you're here today with me because we're going to talk about a topic that has transformed the way we understand ourselves, our relationships, our emotions, and our healing journey. It's something that is not often talked about, but I think another very important topic. So today we are going to talk about what is known as adverse childhood experiences, also known as ACEs. Before we go any further, I want to say something very important. This conversation is not about blaming your parents. It's not about labeling yourself as damaged or broken because what happened to you. This conversation is about understanding your story so your story no longer controls you. And your story does matter. It is a part of who you became, or maybe survival mode, or how you thought you had to be. But it's so eye-opening when people start to realize the effects of childhood and learn to heal from that. I watch people just, I like to say, blossom and shine brighter and be filled with more hope and love and light because they find their core self, not the self that was hurt or traumatized or neglected. So this conversation is about understanding your story again, so the story no longer controls you. It's about compassion. It's about healing and the importance of healing. A lot of times I think, why do I need to heal my childhood? I can't take that back and redo it. But when you start to trace patterns in the brain and how you're showing up today, see the difference of, wow, am I living just a fraction of myself or living out of survival mode? Healing is so important, and it's a gift that you give to yourself and your loved ones. So it's about learning why you respond the way you do, why certain things feel so difficult, and how you can begin creating a life filled with greater peace, connection, confidence, joy, and love. Because the truth is, your past may explain you, but it does not have to define you. There's a beautiful, valuable, worthy person inside of you who is created for connection, purpose, and love. Sometimes life experiences simply put layers over that person. Healing is the process of gently uncovering who you truly are. So let me explain a little bit about what are ACEs. Again, ACEs stand for Adverse Childhood Experiences. These are difficult, stressful, or traumatic experiences that happened during childhood, especially before the age of 18. The original ACE research identified 10 common experiences. Abuse, which would be physical, emotional, or sexual abuse, or all of the above. Neglect, physical neglect, emotional neglect. Household challenges, a parent struggling with substance use abuse. Mental illness in the home, domestic violence, divorce or separation. a parent being incarcerated. But we have continued to learn about trauma, and I'm a huge advocate for people healing and recognizing when trauma is showing up in the mind and the body and how to release that. We understand that childhood adversity can take many forms. It can include growing up in chaos or unpredictability, being consistently criticized or shamed, having your emotions dismissed, feeling responsible for a parent's emotions, experiencing bullying, losing someone important, growing up without emotional safety, feeling unseen, unheard, unloved, maybe just diminished. Sometimes trauma is about what happened, but sometimes trauma is also about what didn't happen. Maybe nobody comforted you when you were hurting. Maybe if you were crying, you were told, go to your room, stop crying, or you're punished for having emotions. Maybe no one taught you how to manage emotions. Maybe no one protected you. Maybe you had to grow up too quickly because your parents weren't able to take care of you. Maybe you became the strong one because there's no one else to be strong for you. When a child doesn't have the safety and support they need, their brain and nervous system adapt. How childhood experiences shape the brain, well, let me explain this a little bit. We'll talk about neuroscience behind this just for a moment, because it is insightful and it can help you understand a little bit more about what might be going on for you or one of your loved ones. A child's brain is consistently developing. Children are learning, am I safe? Can I trust people? Do my needs matter? Am I worthy of love? When a child grows up in a safe, nurturing environment, their nervous system learns, I'm safe. My feelings matter. I can depend on others. The world is a place where I belong. But when a child experiences chronic stress, fear, neglect, or trauma, their brain adapts to survival. The brain has an alarm system, which is called the amygdala. The amygdala helps us recognize danger. It's a good thing. It protects us. But when someone grows up in an environment where they constantly have to be on alert, that alarm system can become overly sensitive. The brain is scanning, is something bad about to happen? Am I going to be rejected? Am I safe? The body may release stress hormones more frequently, keeping someone in a state of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Fight is, I have to defend myself. Flight is, I have to escape. Freeze is, I shut down because I don't know what to do. And fawn is, I need to make everyone happy so I can stay safe. And there's something incredibly important. Those responses were not weaknesses. They were survival strategies. They protected you. They were your brain and body's way of trying to protect you. The problem is that what helped you survive in childhood may not always help you thrive as an adult. So there is a difference between survival mode and being in that heightened state filled with anxiety or fight, flight, freeze, or fawn mode versus thriving and feeling more peace and joy. When survival strategies follow us into adulthood, many adults walk around wondering, why am I like this? Why do I struggle so much? Why do I react the way I do? And often the answer is because at some point your brain learned a pattern that helped you survive. Maybe you became a perfectionist because mistakes were not safe. Maybe you became a people pleaser because conflict felt dangerous and or it was dangerous. Maybe you became independent because you learned not to rely on others. Maybe you learned to ignore your own needs because everyone else's needs came first. Maybe you became the caregiver because no one cared for you. These patterns are not proof that something is wrong with you. They're clues. They are invitations to understand yourself with compassion and kindness. Instead of asking, what is wrong with me? A healing question becomes, what happened to me? And how did I learn to survive it? That question changes everything. It's a really good clue. The hope of neuroplasticity, which is amazing. I just love studying more brain science because the brain is like a computer with stored data and all kinds of neural pathways, but we can heal it. We can heal from our ACEs. So here's the hopeful part. Your brain is not permanently stuck. Your story is not finished. Your childhood experiences shaped your brain, but they do not have the final word. The brain has an incredible ability called neuroplasticity. And that means the brain can create new pathways and learn new patterns throughout life. Pretty incredible. You can learn new ways to respond, new ways to communicate, new ways to trust, new ways to care for yourself, and new ways to see your own worth. Healing does not erase what happened. Healing helps you become free from carrying it in the same way. You don't have to spend your whole life reacting from old wounds. You can begin responding from wisdom, strength, and self-compassion. In this next part, I'm going to talk a little bit more about, which I've said in other episodes, your story matters. And understanding adverse childhood experiences, ACEs, healing childhood wounds, and rediscovering who you were created to be is a beautiful gift that you can give to yourself. So healing happens through safe connections. Nowadays, we can get all kinds of information overload. You can Google search things. You can use ChatGPT. It can give you some good roadmaps and information and things that maybe you hadn't thought of, or organize things, but it cannot replace the healing journey. Healing happens through, again, safe connection and trusted professionals and good people in your life. As we continue this conversation about ACEs and healing, I want to talk about one of the most powerful parts of the healing journey. You do not have to heal alone. So again, there's great information and self-help books and all kinds of things that can add to your healing journey. But one of the greatest gifts you can give to yourself is finding a trusted, compassionate, trauma-informed therapist who can walk alongside you. And I want to emphasize something. Going to therapy does not mean you're weak. I tell my clients it is such a strength to reach out for support. It doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean something's wrong with you. Therapy is an act of courage. It's an investment in yourself. It's saying, my story matters. My healing matters. My future matters. And a good therapist provides something many people may not have experienced consistently growing up. A safe relationship. You have to find a trusted, good therapist that is a match for you. A place where you can be honest and feel safe to open up, a place where you can be seen without judgment, a place where your emotions are welcomed instead of dismissed, a place where you can begin to experience what healthy connection feels like. Like I tell many people that often when they're coming in and working with me for the first time ever in their life, they're getting consistent, what I call corrective emotional experiences. And that is so healing. And you can just see the body language, the look of relief over time of like, hey, this is my safe place. And then that carries on through their life and other places they go, learning how to advocate for themselves and letting their bodies heal and release the trauma response. Many people who have experienced childhood wounds learn early on that they had to hide parts of themselves. Maybe you learned, don't be too emotional, don't need too much, don't ask for help, don't make mistakes, don't disappoint anyone. Therapy can become a place where you begin to rewrite those messages. This is another part on therapy because I'm a huge advocate for it, because my own healing journey, my education, my experience, and my being able to be blessed to help so many people too. And I see beautiful changes, not only in my life, but other people's lives too. So a good skilled therapist can help you understand your story in ways that AI can't, or other self-help books can add to it. Absolutely. They can help you connect dots between your childhood experiences and patterns you experience today. Not to keep you trapped in the past, but to help you understand yourself and learning how to apply compassion. Help identify survival patterns. You can start recognizing why certain situations trigger intense emotions, why relationships feel challenging sometimes, why boundaries feel uncomfortable, why you struggle to trust, why you may feel responsible for everybody else's emotions, and heal from shame. Many people who experience difficult childhoods carry shame or guilt that was never theirs to carry. They think, I should have been stronger. I should be over this by now. Why can't I just move on? A therapist can help you separate what happened to you from who you are. Learning emotional regulation as well. You can learn practical tools to calm your nervous system, tolerate difficult emotions, and respond instead of react. Learning to build healthier relationships with yourself and others, how to communicate your needs, how to recognize healthy versus unhealthy relationships, how to set boundaries, how to trust wisely, how to choose connections without losing yourself. Healing is not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more fully your core self. So again, this is not about blaming your parents. I want to come back to that because it's so important. Healing from childhood wounds is not about blaming your parents. Blame often keeps us connected to the pain. Understanding helps us move towards freedom. Many parents did the best they could with the tools they had. Many parents were also carrying their own wounds, trauma, fears, shame, guilt, unresolved pain. Understanding that does not mean ignoring or dismissing the harm. It does mean, it doesn't mean protecting things that didn't affect you. Both things can be true. Someone may have loved you and may have hurt you. Someone may have tried and still may have not met your needs. Healing allows you to hold the truth with compassion. The goal is not to spend your life looking backwards asking who's at fault. The goal is to begin to ask, how do I care for myself now? How do I create a healthier future? How do I become the person I was always meant to be? And maybe even how do I connect if your parents are still alive and have healing conversations with your healthy boundaries. Rediscovering the beauty of who you are. One of the most beautiful parts of healing is rediscovering yourself. Trauma often teaches people painful messages. I'm too much. I'm not enough. My needs don't matter. I have to earn love. I have to be perfect to be accepted. But those messages are not the truth. You, please hear this, you were created with value before you accomplished anything. You were worthy before anyone validated you. You mattered before anyone recognized your gifts. Healing allows you to uncover the person beneath the survival strategies. The person who laughs. Oh, laughter is such healing medicine. It's so much fun. The person who dreams. The person who creates. The person who loves deeply. The person who has gifts to offer the world. Sometimes trauma does not destroy our beauty. Sometimes it just hides it. Healing is the process of bringing that beauty back into the light. So here's some practical healing exercises, meeting your younger self. I want to invite you into a reflection exercise. Take a moment and imagine yourself as a child. Pick that younger version of you. Notice your face. Notice your emotions. Notice what you may have needed. Ask yourself, What did that child need to hear? Maybe it was, you are loved. You are safe. You don't have to earn love. You're not responsible for everything. Your feelings matter. You are worthy. Now imagine offering that child in you compassion, not judgment, not criticism, but compassion. Because that younger version of you did the best they could with what they knew. And today, the adult in you gets to offer that hurt little child something new: safety, love, and acceptance. For those of you who find strength in faith, Scripture reminds us that healing is part of God's heart for us. Psalms 34:18 says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." God is not afraid of our wounds. He does not ask us to hide our pain. He meant for us to be loved and to feel his love. Romans 12:2 reminds us, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Healing is often a renewing of the mind, replacing old messages with truth, replacing shame with grace, replacing fear with trust, replacing survival with freedom. Isaiah 43:19 reminds us, "See, I'm doing a new thing." Your past is real, your pain is real, but God can still create something beautiful from your story. Before we close, I want to leave you with a few questions to sit with. What survival strategies helped you get through difficult situations or seasons? Which of those strategies no longer serves you? What beliefs about yourself do you need to release? What truth do you want to begin believing? What is one small thing you can take towards healing? Remember, healing does not happen overnight. It happens through small, courageous choices. Every time you set a healthy boundary, you add another layer of healing, another step towards healing. Every time you speak kindly to yourself, you begin to heal. Every time you ask for support, you add to healing. Every time you choose a healthier pattern, you begin to heal. Little healing meditation before we end today. I invite you to take a few minutes to slow down. If you're able, place your feet on the floor. Take a slow breath in and slowly release it. Allow yourself to arrive in this moment. You are here. You are safe. You are worthy. Now take another breath in and then release it. Imagine yourself standing beside the younger version of you, the child who experienced things they should never have had to carry. Look at that child with compassion. Notice your emotions. Notice your fears. And imagine saying, "I see you. I hear you. I'm sorry you had to carry things that were too heavy for you. You were never too much. You were never not enough. You deserve love. You deserve safety. You deserve to be seen." Now imagine offering that younger version of yourself the kindness and protection that you needed. Allow yourself to receive this. You are valuable. You are worthy. You are loved. You do not have to carry. You do not have to earn your worth. You can learn new ways of living. You can create healthier relationships with yourself and others. You can experience peace. Take one more slow breath in and then release it. Now you're ready to return to this moment knowing your story matters, your healing matters, your life matters. Remember, your aces do not define you. Your wounds do not define you. Your past does not refine you. You are more than what happened to you. You're resilient, you're worthy, and you're capable of healing. And there is still beauty, purpose, and possibility ahead. Keep rising, keep reclaiming, keep renewing. Until next time, remember this: your story is not over. You are so amazing. Much love always, Joni Elizabeth. Thank you for listening to Rise, Reclaim, and Renew. If this episode encouraged you, please leave a 5-star review. It helps this podcast reach more women who need these conversations. And if somebody in your life could benefit, share this episode with them. One share can make a big difference. Until next time, keep rising, keep reclaiming, and keep renewing. Much love, Joni.